Hello and welcome to the Mill. I am your host, Dusty Crane, and this week we are talking about Wingspan's great big win in Germany, and we are also talking about the Wednesday live stream. So let's get started. If you are new to board games, maybe by way of Wingspan, then you may not know that the most prestigious award to win in board games is the Spiel des Jahres. Now, the Spiel des Jahres is an award that the German media, German game critics have given out since 1979. It is an award it translates to Game of the Year, and there's been winners like Catan and Ticket to Ride. 10 years later, they also started including a yearly giveaway of the Kennerspiel des Jahres, which is basically like the kids' game of the year. It's more family-oriented titles. You have stuff like this year's Valley of the Vikings and Ice Cool. But in 2011, they started awarding the Kennerspiel des Jahres, which translated, Kenner translates to something like connoisseur or expert, or really what that means is a gamer's game. It's a little bit more complicated. It's not necessarily for brand new people to the hobby, and it was won this year by Wingspan, by Elizabeth Hargrave, and this is a huge win for not just Stonemaier Games, not just for Wingspan, but for Elizabeth, for all the artists that are on the box, for just a game design in general. Really, I mean, for this group that put it together, for David Studley and Team Automa too. It's the most prestigious award in board games, as I mentioned, and so it's kind of one of those things that it feels really good. You see, board games really bragging on winning this award, and this year, for the first time, Stonemaier gets to do it. First time designer Elizabeth Hargrave gets to do it. I mean, that's a huge, awesome deal. So what does that mean for Stonemaier Games? What does it mean for sales of Wingspan? Well, in the U.S., probably not a whole heck of a lot, because it is a German award, but Wingspan has already been celebrated and talked about in all kinds of different mainstream media that wouldn't necessarily be talking about board games. So obviously, based on how difficult Wingspan has been able to get throughout its tenure so far, you get the idea that it's a very popular game. There's a lot of people that aren't necessarily board gamers that are coming to it because they're birders, and that's something that that they enjoy. So it's already been selling like hotcakes, which is great for everyone involved. But I guess in Germany, this is a huge deal. I think it's Fuhrland is Jamie or Stonemaier's German partner there, and they are, just on the nomination alone, I guess, will help push sales. The win is going to really push sales. Now, if that's not cool enough on its own, I did see that they're currently working on the 7th printing. I mean, Jamie's mentioned that they're in various stages of many different printings, but the last I heard was the 7th. So that for a game that just came out this year to already be in its 7th printing, to have won the Kennerspiel is a huge deal. And if you are curious what this award means to Jamie Stegmaier, all you really have to do is watch this latest Wednesday live stream, and every time it comes up, Jamie gets a little choked up. It's kind of fun to see how much this award means to him, and not just because of what it means to his company and what it could mean for sales, but when he starts talking about what this means to have this game practically have an all-woman design team that you had, or certainly an all-woman design team with Elizabeth, but to also have the artists, the art to be something that's so celebrated about this game too, to have women artists and Jamie to include it on the box. You can tell that representation is something that means a lot to him. And as he talks about the fact that that there's power in seeing a name that resembles yours on a box, or to see Elizabeth, getting these accolades as a game designer, what this could mean to little girls coming up. You can tell that this is something that means a great deal to Jamie, and not just from a business perspective, because I don't think you'd see him get as emotional as he did about what this means for Elizabeth, and what this means for future designers, and what this might mean going forward, where other game companies are willing to step outside of their normal, I guess, themes or their normal designers. And so, yeah, I think we might be seeing something brand new and exciting coming forward. All right, so speaking of that Wednesday live chat, it was not all Jamie getting emotional about Wingspan. There was also some juicy morsels dropped for us in terms of what is coming forward. There was a comment that someone asked a question. They asked, how is your Civilization game coming along? We got a little bit of peek behind the curtain at that. Jamie said, it looked like he wanted to say something. And then he just said, it's coming along well. So that's good news. We also had another question come up later that said, when are we going to hear about Codename Clay? Codename Clay is the furthest along when we look at the release schedule. It said Q3. We're kind of getting a little bit of whiplash learning about this game, because we had talked, I think in the last video that I did last week, Jamie had said, oh, that Q3 date, that was a mistake. That should have been Q4. And I think even on the live chat, he had gone about starting to fix it. So we thought Codename Clay was going to be a Q4 release. But now, and maybe it still is, but now someone specifically asked, what's the status on Codename Clay? And he said, I have more to talk about on August 7th. So we have a for sure date on August 7th. And I was originally thinking that was the first time that Jamie had mentioned the August 7th date. But when I look back on this image that Jamie posted on his Instagram of a palette of, it looks like map tiles from his printer, so presumably Panda here, we see a bunch of, like I said, map tiles. It's punchboard. And we see, it looks like islands and water, but there's light blue water, there's dark blue water. It kind of looks a little bit of purplish water, but I know light can play tricks, so maybe this is different depths. I don't know, but in that Instagram post, he had said, I'm not talking about what this game is, but I'll talk to you about it August 7th. So I think with those two things lining up, we know for a fact that this punch board that was in this Instagram post is Codename Clay. Is it the Civilization game? I don't know. It's going well. Again, Jamie this week teased us about the fact that he had a game box just right off camera, and he really hoped that his webcam didn't fall over and spoil something. But I have never wished for technical difficulties so much in my life. I wanted that camera to spill right over, give us a peek of what is on the table. Is this box, and is the screenshot, well, I mean, we know it's Codename Clay, but is it a Civilization game? Is it whatever, it's probably not his open world co-op. I still stand by the fact that I think that's Codename Wild. So I do think that whatever these map tiles are Codename Clay. We'll know more August 7th. As of the day that I am filming and releasing this, it's only a week and a half away. So are you excited? What could this game be? We know for a fact that this is Codename Clay. What is it? What can you imagine going on with these map tiles? Is this map tile, is it something we lay on the board? Is it something like Spirit Island, I think, where you kind of just lay out the map pieces? Or maybe that, maybe it's something like, if not Spirit Island, if I have that wrong, something like Gloomhaven, where these map tiles actually make up the board and there's not a set board per se. I'd be interested to know what you think, and how much you're looking forward to August 7th. How excited are you about this big win for Wingspan of the Kennerspiel. Do you think that that is going to make any difference in terms of how hard it is to pick up the game, or is it pretty easy to come by now? I look forward to hearing your comments. One last thing before I go. I will be at Gen Con this year. I've mentioned that a couple times. I'm working, doing demos for Van Ryder Games. I will be over in Lucas Oil Stadium. I think I'm running a hostage negotiator tournament. So if you would be interested in catching up and saying hi, look for me over there at Lucas Oil, or drop me a message, and maybe we can meet up and introduce ourselves or say hi, or maybe we've talked in the comments. In any case, take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys next week, and take care of each other. Be kind. Bye.